What was the post?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you.
Got your health coming out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Got my 70s look going on. Yeah. Got my Magnum PI look.
Right. So,
Yes, so.
community, we talked about, what was it? We put on what was it about fighting fair
Yes,
in
yes.
relationships, and we asked, yes, no, maybe, so.
Yes. And overwhelmingly, you guys chose to want to fight fair. Yes. And in case you guys didn't know, we are.
Shauni.
And I'm Mondi, and we've been married for 10 plus years, and we want to share with you guys just some of the tips and tricks that we've learned along the way to help preserve our marriage, bring it back from the brink. And just in case you didn't know, we go live every Thursday and Friday.
On TikTok.
On TikTok.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
Thursday on YouTube.
That's right. And any comments and you guys have, drop in the comments box below. But don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Yeah. So one of the things I think in fighting fair, you gotta kind of not go in it in defense mode.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go into fighting fair in defense mode, you're like, you listening just enough to go, gotcha. Now what about this? Now what about this?
Right.
What about that?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You gotta take time to listen to what the person is saying.
Right.
And honestly, and that's hard to do when you're in the midst of a fight.
Yeah.
You know, a physical or verbal altercation with somebody. You are not really thinking about, how to preserve and go at this a fair way. Your adrenaline is pumping. We know this. You're ready to defend yourself, but that's the time when you really have to pull back.
Yeah.
You got to pull back at that point.
Yeah, you got to pull back because what's going to happen is if you're hearing just enough to go, well, you did this and you did this and da-da-da-da-da, the person's going to eventually start pulling back to the point where they're not even going to want to talk to you.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
No, because you haven't created that safe space for them to talk.
Right. That's one of the things, too. You got to create a safe space for a person to be able to come to you about things. You know, if you going off the rails every time they try to talk to you about an issue that they're having in the relationship or issue that they're having with you, they're going to be like, you know what? I can't even talk to you. I'm going to pull on back because
True. They'll find someone else to talk to, someone that has a listening ear. And chances are it ain't going to be the person that you want them listening to.
Right.
Because they're going to take advice from that person.
Yes.
And everything that they say is going to sound like, man, you know me.
And don't let it be the kind of person that they like.
Yeah, that's the worst, man.
They're gonna be like, ooh, you know me, you understand me so well.
You listen to me.
That ain't gonna be a good thing, because so fighting fair is really important because it can cause a whole plethora of problems inside of your relationship. You know what I mean? It can cause a whole bunch of stuff to go awry because I was thinking back to in our situation where I felt like he was always defensive, and to his defense too, I was defensive as well.
Yeah.
I was ready to karate chop at any moment, but I felt like on the serious things, I felt like I couldn't talk to him because he was gonna be always defensive. Like like we talked about this I think last week. That like he was perfect, like he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it makes the person pull back, right? And it makes them pull back and start to get resentful, and you don't really want that. Right. So fighting fair is really, really important.
Yes.
So what about fighting to win?
Yeah, that's mostly the people's objective when they do get into a fight is they fight to win.
Yeah.
Right, because that's that's what your survival skills are kicking in. You are defending the ego. The ego is huge, man, and it wants to win. It does not want to lose.
Right.
And if you can put that ego aside, then you'll make room for the other person to get their message across to you.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
But when that ego is in place, man, he don't want to hear nothing.
No,
wants to win.
he or she
Wants to win.
want to win, and I like win at all costs.
Yeah.
You are not gonna take me down,
Yeah.
you know. And it can't be that way in a relationship. Yeah, like you said, in a normal fight, you fight to win. You know, you don't go in fighting to lose.
No.
You know, but it flips, and I think sometimes that can get confusing in the mind because if you've ever been in a fight before, whether it's physical and or verbal,
Yes.
you know what I mean? You fight to win.
Absolutely.
Right? And sometimes that people tend to carry that mentality over into the relationship.
In arguments, yes.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to learn how to flip that switch off.
Yes.
You know, when you're dealing in relationships, and do more just kind of listening. You know what I mean? Listen to solve the problem instead of listening to cause one.
Yeah, that's big.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, and that trickles over into arguments too.
Yeah.
You know, where well, not even arguments. I would say, like, if you're in a debate about something, people want to just win.
Yeah.
And that can trickle over into an argument where you still want to win. And then if it gets heated, then you're definitely going to want to win.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so you got.
Don't let them miss and say something disrespectful. Woo! Charlie,
Say
what you say? No. What you say? You know what I mean? And then it's on and popping.
Exactly.
But you gotta practice. Somebody in the situation have to practice restraint.
Yes.
Okay? Because if you practice restraint, somebody gonna figure out that they hollering and screaming by themselves.
Right.
That they arguing with themselves.
If they'll notice it.
And they're gonna realize they look real crazy. Okay? So, you know, if somebody being disrespectful, I would say, you know what? I'll talk to you when you can talk about this thing like a mature adult.
Yeah.
And then walk away from the situation. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Now that's what I would do. Now it is. But before.
Yes, we've matured.
Woo! Okay, another thing too. It's about timing too.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can't like jump on somebody as soon as they walk in the door.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They tired from work.
Yes.
You know, they don't want to hear that right now.
No.
You got to pick a time.
Gotta pick a time and a day. You know, this is what we have done. Whenever I want to talk to him about something, I say, "Hey, babe, I really need to talk to you about something. When can we talk about it?" You know, and then he'll say Tuesday at 8:00, right? And I'll say, "You said Tuesday at 8:00." Get what I'm saying? Gotta repeat that thing back. You said Tuesday at 8:00? Yeah, okay. All right. Memo. Noted.
Right. And for guys who, or you know, whoever the partner is in the relationship that doesn't like talking about stuff, you know, and that's how it was. I didn't really want to continue to talk about stuff. I knew that it was important to her, so I had to listen to her. I had to give her that time to listen to her grievances and whatever it is, the issues that are bothering her. So making time is important.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do that just to get them off your back so that you can watch the game that day or something. You know?
Yeah, but you got it. But listen, if issues go unresolved,
True.
then you're gonna have a mountain of issues,
Oh,
right?
that's
And if
right.
you get a mountain of issues, now folks gonna start, like we said before, start hollering and screaming about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if you two can communicate properly and fight fair, you can come to the table with the issue. Y'all can deal with it right then, as the old people say, nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. That's
You
right.
know, cut it off at the root.
At the root.
That's in the South. In the South, you got to say the root. You got to cut it off at the root. You know what I mean? And then it'll be finished.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it won't, there will be no pile up, right? And then you guys can go through y'all's day easy, breezy, because if there's a mountain of stuff that you haven't dealt with, it is going to be tension
Yes.
between the people, okay? And tension is, I mean, it is uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. You can't sit in the same room with someone who you have tension with and expect to be on good terms with them. And I wanted to go back to one of your points, is that, and just make a point, was about recovery time. How you guys recover from your arguments, how fast you recover from your arguments is going to be important.
Yeah.
Because if you argue and then there's still lingering tensions after you vented your grievances,
I mean, you didn't resolve it.
You didn't resolve it. So you guys need to be able to vent, resolve the issue, and then let that be it.
Yeah.
It can't be stuff lingering because person doesn't feel like they've been heard.
Yeah. You got to come back and be like, one more thing.
Right. One more thing. Oh,
mercy. You got to get all that. I got to get it all out. I got to get it all out, because if I don't, I'm going to be bothered. I'm going to be tossing and turning all night. I'm going to be looking at you evil. You know what I mean? I mean, why? Why would we do all this?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we can get this done and taken care of, right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
What about assuming?
Yes.
That you know what the other person is feeling.
Yeah, that comes from not hearing, or the other person may not have said what is really bothering them, and you just assume what they're feeling without actually knowing, without asking them, hey, what's going on? What are you feeling? Why do you feel this way? So you assume.
Yeah.
And you typically, when you do that, you got the wrong picture. You don't know nothing about what's going on.
Yes.
So yeah, you can't assume in the relationship.
Yeah, that's another thing too about assuming. You know what they say?
What do they say?
Assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get the meaning of it now. I didn't get the meaning of it a long time ago, but I get the meaning of it now. When you assume what somebody's thinking, right? In your mind, oftentimes it's gonna be, well, they said this. Well, why they say that for? Well, what that mean? And oh, I bet they meant this, and I bet now you done got yourself all worked up, full of attitude, full of anger, frustration about something you don't even know if that's what they really meant.
Sure.
Right? So the good thing to do is go back and talk to them. Yo, something bothering me. You said this, and I feel like you meant this by it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people can clear up what they meant, and in the process, you can go, oh, that's what that meant. And you could let that little festering attitude that you about to get rid of the have.
Yes.
You can let it go by just asking, what did you mean by that?
Sure. Yes. And a lot of that too has to do with mental arguments. Those arguments that you have in your head before you even said anything. You arguing with them and saying stuff in your head about what you would say and all this other stuff.
That's what I was just gonna say too, about negative, going into it with negative mindset or mind space.
Yes, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Negative mind space. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, don't go into it with negative mind space.
You arguing with them about stuff you ain't even really need to be arguing with them about.
Yep. Also too, if you come into it in the argument, like if you upset about something, and you come into the argument with them, and you like, because first of all, the last time I said this, and this, and that, now you coming in, you already putting them on defense.
Yes.
Okay? When you come in hot, you put the person on defense, and they gonna get ready to fight.
It's a natural response.
Right? So what you gotta do is come in that thing calm, with a positive mind space. Think this thing through. That's why it's a good idea to schedule a day.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you can make notes. You can think through what you're going to say instead of just coming in hot. If you come in hot, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, you're going to say what's on your mind, and it might not be what you really want to say.
Right. Yeah. And if you have time to think about what you're going to say, write it down. Go over it in your mind, but come into it calmly and say, something you did the other day, it really bothered me, it really hurt me, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times when something bothers us about the person that we with, a lot of times it's hurt.
Sure.
Okay? But we kind of calculate it in our mind as anger.
Right.
I'm pissed. You get what I'm saying? But most of the time, the emotion is really hurt.
Yes.
And for some reason, people don't want to say that they're hurt. Ego,
Ego.
Feeling like they weak.
Feeling like they're weak. Vulnerability is not an easy thing. That's not a normal emotion for a lot of people to be vulnerable, because it does make them feel that they're vulnerable and they're susceptible to being hurt.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
Hurting is not a good feeling for a lot of people, so they don't open up and like that.
Yeah, so you got to come in the situation. Say, it hurt me when you did this. It hurt me when you did, because that could put a person on the calm. When you come in like that calmly and letting them know how you really feel, and not like the feeling that you created as a result of the hurt that you feel. If you come in with the honesty, calmly, you know, people have a tendency to be more receptive and listen and be more receptive to solving the problem as well.
They'll be solution oriented.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do?
Yeah.
That could be the question that they may ask. Well, what can I do to make things better?
Yeah.
If you come in hot, they're not gonna ask, what can I do?
No. Everybody say, what you say? Well, no, first of all, you come in here hollering at me, saying I'll be disrespectful, and see, now this turned into a whole nother argument that ain't got nothing to do with what you wanted to talk about in the first doggone place.
Right.
I mean, just calm down. You know what I mean? Calm down. Think about what you want to say before you say it, you know, and that way you can come in on a positive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you may get what you want out of that person.
Right.
They may tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
Or what you want to hear.
Yeah. Another thing too is create a safe space. You know what I mean?
Sure. And that's hard for a lot of people, because they like you said, they got so many guards up, and they want to argue. That's how they can get out their emotion, because their emotion is built up to anger right now. So it's hard to create a safe space for people, but it's key to doing that, because that allows people to open up. Yeah. And then they'll feel like they can talk to you, like you always say. Now you can talk to.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. If you like, not all the time people come and yell and scream, but a lot of times people do. A lot of people come with the rah-rah, and if the other person is trying to come to you in like real hurt, you know what I'm saying? It would behoove you to not come in crazy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because when a person starts to feel like they can't talk to you, here we go again. They're gonna pull back. They're gonna start talking to other people.
Sure.
They're gonna start getting some crazy bad advice. You get what I'm saying? Then they're gonna come in with more stuff at you.
Yeah.
And it's gonna cause a big problem, if not the demise of the relationship eventually.
Yes.
When all these things start to pile on top of each other without being resolved.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So let people feel like, I know that no matter how hard it is, I can come to them and talk to them.
Yes.
And we can work through this problem together. We can get this problem resolved together.
Yes.
And if they feel like that, man, y'all winning.
Yeah. And on the point you made about rah-rah, there are times when people don't rah-rah.
Right.
They'll shut down.
Right, like you did.
Yeah, like I did. You know, I was shut down. So that's the same way of not creating a safe space. I didn't yell. I didn't get, rambunctious, but I shut down. Yes. That's a form of manipulation.
It's emotional manipulation.
Yes. And so you can't shut down in a relationship. You have to say, okay, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? Yeah. And even if it's hard, because it's going to be hard, you're going to hear some stuff about you that you don't want to hear. Yeah, boy. You got to be prepared to let go of that ego, because a relationship, it takes a lot less ego, and a lot more cooperative type of mindset. Yes. You get what I'm saying? Ego is one person's feeling about everything. If you're attacking me. Oh, everything, you're attacking me. You get what I'm saying? But when you're in a relationship, you got to drop that ego and come together as a unit, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You have to go into a relationship thinking, I need to be collaborative. Yes. In this thing. You get what I'm saying? Yes. That team approach. Yeah, you got to be a team. Yes. What about what else was I thinking about the one more thing before we go. Appreciate them. Show some appreciation. Okay?
if you have been talking to that person and you have noticed a positive change in the way that they communicate, please, I don't care how tiny the change is. Matter of fact, look for a positive change. Okay? Look for one. I don't care how teeny it is, look for a positive change. So you can say, you know what? I appreciate you sitting down with me and talking with me the other day. I know that was hard for you. I appreciate you coming to a compromise with me. I appreciate us being able to communicate without, yelling and screaming. I appreciate you doing that. When you appreciate people, and when you let them know that you appreciate them and that you see the little changes that they're trying to make, they'll be more inclined to make more changes.
Yes. That's how you create the safe space.
Yeah.
It's all part of that safe space. Give them room to feel like they can open up to you. Because if you don't, they'll shut down like I did. I shut down. I'm shut down king.
Yes.
Shut down.
Yes, God. The boy will shut down, and I mean, whoop.
But she did what she's talking about, which was she gave said, listen, I appreciate you, I know that was hard, and that made me feel good. It was like, okay, she saw that I was trying to take little baby steps.
Yeah.
And each step got a little bit bigger, and before you know it became comfortable. Because what this is a habit.
Yeah.
You have to develop a habit of doing these things.
Yeah.
And it's not a habit for a lot of people.
Right.
So that's why it's hard.
Absolutely.
So once you do it over and over again, it becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit, and it becomes easy to do.
Yes.
Proper communication, fighting fair. Once you go through the steps and do it the right way, and you do it, like he says, over and over and over and over, it'll become a habit, like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, you get up every day, you go in the bathroom, you do your business, you get up and you brush your teeth, right? And you don't even, what?
Some people don't brush their
Some
teeth.
people do. You threw me off with that. What?
Some people don't brush their teeth. Some people, they got some real bad teeth.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
good God. You threw me way off that. I said, what? Yeah, but like brushing your teeth, or going to the bathroom, or going to work, or getting you just do it automatically, and it becomes easy for you to do because you know what to do and you know what to expect.
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely. So guys, we're gonna leave it there. I know we put a lot into that, and hopefully you've gotten something out of it,
Yes.
and that was worthwhile that you can take home with you.
Yeah.
And we'll be here again next Thursday.
Yeah.
No,
8
we
o'clock.
won't. No, we won't.
Oh, no, we won't.
No, we
Sorry.
won't. It is the holiday
It's
season.
the holiday season.
It's the
Thanksgiving.
holiday
We're going to be
season.
giving thanks next week. We ain't going to be here.
That's right. That's right. Well, if you heard anything that you like, dislike, whatever it was, drop it in the comments box below. We want to hear from you.
Yep, guys, and we'll see you no, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after next.
Thursday afternoon.
All right, peace.
Peace.